Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Steel Plate Rack World Championships. I'm your broadcaster, Ron, and joined with me is Les. Hi, Ron. Here we have the rookie, Micah Mayfield, heading into the deep hole. But before we get into that, let's look at the lead. We have some fierce competition with us today. Boy, is it going to be a good match. I couldn't agree more, Ron. It looks like Micah is getting us summoned up to the shooting line. I'm very excited to see what this rookie can put out this year. He's looking very confident. This year, he'll be shooting his Daniel Defense PCC. Les, he appears to be distracted by that pile of trash located off the right. You appear to be right, Ron. I don't think that's boding well for the rookie. This is no time to lose focus, all right? It looks like he's signaling. He's ready to shoot. And he appears to have regained focus. Oh my God, it's unbelievable! He's completely missed the entire plate rack and opted to shoot the pile of trash? I cannot believe it. There is no way his sponsors will be sticking around after this. We have never seen something like this. And just like that, folks, Micah Mayfield has taken last place after mag dumping a pile of range trash.
Good question. Thank you for asking. No, I do not think that my sponsors will be sticking around. Sponsors like OpticsPlanet, which is going to be really unfortunate because they do provide the coupon code MICAHM to all my viewers. And yeah, it's sad to see them going. Yeah. No, I don't think Silencer Central will be sticking around to provide me any more silencers for my video, which is unfortunate because they also have a coupon code Micah for their in-house line of cans, and they do ship suppressors straight to your door without ever even having to go to the gun store. It's really unfortunate. Bad decisions on my part. Americana Pipedream? No, they're gone. They already called me and they canceled the sponsorship. You know, no, I never really liked those guys anyway. Giving me the coupon code BUSSI always felt a little disrespectful, but it did save you really good money on military surplus over on their website, so you could get dripped out.
Cheers to Daniel Defense PCC. Boy, howdy, have I waited for this for a long time. I saw this at SHOT Show not too long ago, and I was, honestly, I fell in love with it. I thought that it looked like a better version of the Palmetto State Armory, what do they call that? ARV? Something like that. You know, I'm not a fan of guns with way too many body lines in them, and the PSA has way too many body lines, but Danny D did come out with a very clean, sleek-looking PCC. I feel like I've done a lot of PCCs on this channel. Most of them bad, some of them decent, few of them good. I'm pleased to say I think that this one is going to enter into the good category of PCCs, but I have to explain to you why that is, and that's kind of what we're gonna be doing. Today was kind of an unfortunate filming day. Cameraman Dan.
Yeah, I'm here.
Forgot the target stance. So we ended up shooting one steel target, a pile of trash that I had in my car. Someone left this plate rack on the range, but it gets better. We hammered the wood into the dirt and we didn't have enough clips, so we used gas tape to secure it. If that's not an American, good old-fashioned American range day, I don't know what is. So today, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be running a couple drills. We're gonna talk about recoil, features, ambi controls, overall controls, what makes this thing run so smooth, and more, but we're also going to be comparing it to another hydraulic buffered blowback gun. This is the B&T GHM9 SD, and we have the tried and true MP5. This one is from Zenith. This is my old trusty steed. I've had this gun since I started doing YouTube. The star of the show and the feature today is the Daniel Defense PCC. I think it's just called the DDPCC.
Clever.
Let's start with the DDPCC. We'll start with the Daniel Defense. We're gonna start saying that today. One thing that already, despite this costing significantly more, I prefer with the Daniel Defense is I can use my own suppressors. Here I have a Liberty Precision Anthem 338. We're just gonna get a shot from here with all the guns. These are all running Badlands ammunition, 147 grain, fat bastard. Coupon code is Micah. Save yourself some cash on some ammo. Now, this gun is an actual SD variant. That means the barrel is ported, okay? There are holes. I don't think you're gonna be able to see that. See those holes? Maybe. So there are holes right there at the chamber. And what those do is they bleed off gas and pressure, slowing supersonic rounds, ideally to be subsonic. It does an okay job. Looks like a German stick grenade from World War II. Now, we're gonna go ahead and see which one is louder. An SD ported barrel with an integral suppressor, or the Liberty Precision Anthem 338. Now let's do that again, side by side. B&T, Daniel Defense. B&T sounded quieter. The point I'm trying to make here is I'm not really that big of a fan of this SD system from B&T. The can is, however, a flow through, so I do need to give it that. This gun, for sure, gets less gas in the face. This gun, I have gas and oil all over my hand. This is where things get really interesting. I brought the MP5 and I didn't have a tri-lug can. So I brought this can. This is the Banish Speed K. I hadn't really been all too interested in Banish suppressors, really at all. I know they make like the Banish 30 and a few other good cans that people like. But in full disclosure, Silencer Central, a sponsor of this channel, Banish is a subsidiary of them. So if you think that's gonna affect my opinion here, just figured I'd put it out. But this can weighs so little that if you don't hold on to it tight enough, it will start to float away and end up in South America, like an Up. I've seen Up way too many times. So for size comparison, gents, I'm just gonna say this right off the rip, okay? This can is plenty big. It's plenty big. Ignore anyone who tells you that you need a can this big, okay? Look, no, that's pretty notable. It's not about the size, it's about how you use it. Let me explain. Holy shit, that's quiet. What? We're gonna compare this tiny, tiny, tiny little can to the SD B&T. SD B&T, Banish. Christ almighty, they're both hearing safe with sub. That is nuts. Now, the reason I brought the MP5, why did I bring the MP5?
It's the gold standard of testing PCCs, man.
I brought it because it's the gold standard for testing PCCs. Thanks, Dan. So now we're gonna be comparing recoils. We have the tried and true roller delayed system from H&K, the HK MP5, the Daniel Defense hydraulic buffer system, and the B&T hydraulic buffer system. Personally, I think these two are gonna be a little more similar. I do wanna actually show you what it is I'm talking about before I shoot it. So this is the system on the Daniel Defense that makes it feel so soft in the shoulder. I don't know if it reduces recoil, but it makes the recoil impulse feel really soft, if that makes any sense. So you see there's a little piston on there. Who makes this? This is a Kinshot hydraulic buffer. And when it slams back into the rear, you get a nice little cushion. So every time this goes kablam into your shoulder, it then squishes. It makes it kind of nice. I don't know if it's like crazy, but it's definitely better than a standard buffer. Definitely feel that mush and that softness, even when just dropping the bolt or racking it back. We're gonna do 6 rounds with each gun on the target, and we're gonna compare the recoils. So we're gonna get a feel for the recoil impulse. I have about 800 to 900 rounds on this gun so far, so I already have my mind kind of made up on it, but this is for your guys' sake, for the camera. Okay, so with the B&T, we also have a direct blowback with a hydraulic buffer. The difference is we don't have an AR buffer like we do in the Daniel Defense. We have a hydraulic buffer attached to the back of the bolt. Because the Swiss like to do things a little different, za? Is that German? That was German, huh?
That's very German.
How do Swiss talk?
I don't know.
I like cheese.
Like,
Is it the fatherland? What do they say in Switzerland? Perkele.
I think that's Finn.
Not very good at biology. All right, boom, here we have the B&T GHM9. Right off the rip, I'm gonna tell you right now, having an AR stock blows this out of the water. This is the worst shoulder weld and no cheek weld ever, but we're gonna send it. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I think they feel almost identical. These are two of the softer shooting PCCs I think I own. Compared to a lot of the direct blowbacks like the KP9, the Scorpion, the non-roller delayed version that I had. You know, 9mm, a lot of people will laugh at you and be like, are you really complaining about the recoil of 9mm? Back in my day when I was in the military, I could shoot a dime with an M16 and iron sights at 300 yards 10 times in a row. Okay, Punisher Skull, we get it. You're macho man. It has more recoil than it should have for 9mm. That make you feel better? Now we are at the MP5, probably one of the most famous submachine guns probably ever, and this one is a roller delayed gun, also known for being extremely soft. I'm gonna be honest, that felt like it had the most. Did it look like it had the most?
She seemed to be bouncing a little more. Do it again.
The B&T does edge it out just barely. Like, we're comparing almost apples to apples. That's how close the recoil is. A part of the reason why is we do have a non-low back pressure can and we have a flow-through can. That probably is just that difference we're feeling, Dan.
We could shoot them unsuppressed.
No, nobody does that.
Okay.
Listen, it's 2025. I have Silencer Central as a sponsor. I have a coupon code. There's other people at the range, okay? I need you to be courteous. Get a suppressor and stop shooting unsuppressed. Or don't, it really doesn't matter. All right, back to the regularly scheduled program, the Daniel Defense PCC. I like this thing a lot for a lot of reasons. There are a couple things that I do not like for a couple reasons. Let's just get the stuff out of the way with what I don't like. Let's go get the stock. Here, let's get some slow-mo for that sequence. Brother,
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
You know, I really like you, Daniel Defense, and I like a lot of your products. Not all of them, but I like a lot of them. One of them that I don't like is this stock. And the other thing I don't like is why have we been putting the grips so far forward for so long? Anyway, this stock for the rest of the gun is massive. Guys, that's gotta be 10 inches, at least 10 inches, right guys? Yeah. No, but in all seriousness, I do think it's an ugly stock. It's comfy enough, I guess. It's just ugly. I'm sorry, Daniel Defense, I'm really sorry. It's ugly. So, anyway, B5, look at that. We have a gun that looks normal, and I do say it is kind of nice of Daniel Defense to include a stock. At least we can use it for target practice. So, there's plus and minuses to everything. That's okay. They do sell a pistol version that comes with a brace, and so you probably will be buying that and then SBRing it anyway. Next up, I want to get into the controls because I think that's first or second best part of the gun. We do have fully AR compatible ambidextrous controls, okay? We have our safety that can be actuated from both sides. We have our mag release that can be used from both sides. We have our bolt release that can be used from both sides. The number one thing that I dock on PCCs the most is going to be the controls. There's so many unnecessary designs for PCC controls out there, okay? Bad safety designs, weird magazine drops, you know, just things that don't make a whole lot of sense. I feel like this is closer to the MPX style controls, and the competition guys love the MPX for a reason. While the MPX does not use AR-15 triggers, it does have AR-15 style controls, and there are great triggers out there for it. This uses AR triggers. In here, I have a LaRue MBT2, and it is quick. Only had 3 rounds, but you get the gist. That is a quick trigger. With pistol caliber carbines, since we legally can't own submachine guns, realistically is what we all want with a 9mm PCC. You know, that's why the MP5 was used so heavily. It was a low recoiling submachine gun. If you have a PCC that fires slow, like the MP5, for example. I know there's upgrade kits out there these days that allow the MP5 to have AR triggers, but the stock MP5 trigger does not promote fast shooting. With a low recoiling close quarters round, I want my gun to be speedy. If it's a pistol caliber carbine and it's not speedy, both in the controls and in the fire rate, I don't want it. This gun is both of those. It's fast in the controls and it's fast on the trigger because you can put whatever crazy trigger you want to put in there. It's fast in the controls, it's fast on the trigger, and it is low recoiling. Those are the 3 things that I want out of a pistol caliber carbine, and Daniel Defense did nail that. I genuinely think, I'm not a competition guy, so I don't want to speak out of turn to the PCC guys, but I think this gun in a 16-inch configuration with a brake, a nice little magwell flare, and some other things that might be coming out for it in the aftermarket would make this a very sick competition gun. Not only that, but a sick home defense gun. This is nice and compact. You can put a, you know, that tiny little Banish suppressor I have on there and run subs. And I mean, dude, you'll have a really small package. I mean, you may already have a small package, but 2 is better than 1. And then in case anyone was wondering, I was testing out the Hollow Sun Iris on this gun, and this laser is absolutely incredible, but we're not talking about that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a dancing piece of trash. This is the rarest form. God damn it. Okay, up to this point, we have been shooting 147 grain subsonic rounds. You guys are gonna be like, but Micah, I shoot 115 grain, 124 grain supersonics. So now we have it loaded up with some AAC 124 grain rounds. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm not a big fan of the AAC 9mm. I think it's overpressured and has a lot more recoil than just your standard 115s and 124s. Let's feel this. Oh yeah. You see how much more punch that had?
Yeah,
Look at how much more punch that had.
she's thumping.
Wow, dude, we put the target down. All right, let's just get some recoil on this. That for sure, 1000% blows a lot more gas in my face. Up to this point, the shooting experience has actually been really pleasant with the subs. I'm not getting a ton of debris. I just definitely feel that push. The recoil still feels good. It's just a lot quicker and snappier in the shoulder. Yeah, she feels good. She feels good. Oh, last and final thing before getting over with this review. I think at this point, you guys can probably make up your mind if this is a gun that you're interested in. I think it's just a very, very well-made PCC. It's clean looking, AR controls, you know, light recoiling, but if those of you who are curious what the insides look like, it's almost an AR bolt, but just not quite. So here's what we got. So I already showed you the buffer. Now we have this weird little chode of a bolt. There's a little bit of a weight here in the back, you can kind of see. And other than that, you notice there's actually no rails on the bolt to guide it like an AR. Just this whole portion, you can see where all the carbon is built up. That whole portion is where all the oil goes. You can see we have basically gotten this thing carbon fouled to the utmost. We're at over 1,000 rounds on this thing so far. Not a single hiccup. Dan, did we have a single malfunction?
Nah, she's been running all day, man.
Yeah, not a single malfunction, 1,000 rounds, well-made gun. I don't really have a whole lot of bad things to say about this. Maybe the price, I think. You know, there is the Palmetto State Armory ARV, and that thing's like $700-800. It's similar, it doesn't have the hydraulic buffer, but it's ugly. So, I don't care about it. Before we go, I really just can't stress the manual of arms on this thing for you. So I'm just gonna compare with these and we'll close out, all right? And so for the manual of arms, Daniel Defense PCC, boom, mag in, AR bolt drop, you're off to the races. Once again, mag comes out, mag goes in, bolt, you're off the races. Manual of arms with the B&T. Here we have KCI mags. I actually prefer the KCI mags because they have the metal feed lips over the B&Ts. But wow, that almost seemed like I tried to do that. Hold on. I'll be honest, the bolt catch on these things is kind of ass. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, they're a little stiff.
They're stiff. So try it again, mag in. Yeah, it's just not as fast. It's quiet, it's lower recoil. Manual of arms, once again, DDPCC wins. I mean, I think we know this is gonna take the place for good old MP5. Let's just say, boom, you're out of ammo. Well, time to go. Yeah, and there's absolutely no feed lips on the MP5 magwell, so you better like really know that you're getting it in there. It's a good gun. I like it. Is it worth it? I think that's subjective. I do. I think the price might be a wee high for a PCC, but not really if you're gonna bring these into the mix, because these are stupid expensive. How much are these, Dan?
The SD ones are like $2,000 plus.
Yeah, so this is like well over 2,000. This is 2K plus for this SD model. I think these are like 17, 16, somewhere around there. That is so satisfying. I think that's it. Thank you for watching. That is the Daniel Defense PCC. Great gun, honestly, great PCC. I hope I'm right. I hope that I do start seeing these in competition in long lengths. They've got good mags. You could do a Haley Strategic. Remember the old Magpul Dynamics?
Oh yeah.
Anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys.